This is WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM. And we have with us at WZRD Pet Mosquito. They are playing, did you already play in Wicker Park? Or you will be? You have, okay. And could you introduce yourselves?
I'm Jessie. I play a multitude of instruments, trombone, keyboard, and some vocals and tambourine.
Okay.
My name is Everett. I write some songs and play guitar and yell a lot.
Okay, hang on just a second. Let me turn this up. Okay, could you repeat? I think it was the volume was kind of down. Jessie and Everett?
Okay. I'm Jessie. I play trombone, keyboard, tambourine, and I do some backup vocals.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Everett. I play guitar and sing the songs and write some of them songs.
Mhm.
My name is Evan. I play bass.
My name is Brigitte, and I play drums.
Awesome. Well, we just played two of your tracks. And did you perform these tracks at Wicker Park? And what was the name of the festival in Wicker Park?
Well, I think we may have not played at Wicker Park. We played in somebody's backyard in Burbank, Illinois.
Oh, okay.
I would have loved to play Wicker Park. That sounds awesome. But we did play those two songs. And yeah, they were really fun to play.
Okay.
I am sorry that we did not play at Wicker Park.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, there was just a little miscommunication there. But however, let's discuss the name of your band. Who came up with it and why Pet Mosquito? Does somebody over here have a pet mosquito?
No, we don't have a literal one. It's more of a metaphorical one. We had a pretty lame band name, and then we decided that we would change it to something more fun. But yeah, I think mosquitoes are super important to the ecosystem. They feed bats. Bats are like my favorite animal. So yeah, it's kind of just like people who get looked over. I don't know. Yeah, it's like there's metaphors in there if you're feeling it, but it's up to interpretation.
Yes, and I guess what you meant is that the everything has its place, even a mosquito, and then of course the pets are part of the family, and you kind of connected the two together.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Sweet.
Well, let's talk about the first track, gangstalkin, and how did that come about?
Gangstalkin is, or gangstalking, like the actual thing, is kind of like a phenomenon where people either are being stalked or believe they're being stalked by a group of some type of people, usually like people with some kind of power above them. And I had not really realized what gangstalking was before that. Before I realized that, like on a trip, and saw a bunch of signs about it, and I just found it very compelling and wanted to write a song about it.
Where were you when you found out that all the signs? So you didn't see anything else but before about gangstalking, but you did encounter signs about gangstalking in that town.
For sure. I was in like multiple places in California and just driving up and down the coast. And you see a bunch of different things, but that was one that I had never really heard before. And yeah, it seems like that's not really a phrase that's used around here as much. Like I said, I never heard of it, but yeah, I found it really, really odd.
So
interesting.
In other words, gang stalking is more of a like a group of people harassing some people, right? Maybe either one person or some person. They're harassing and bullying someone, right? Is that kind of what gang stalking is?
Yeah, for sure. There's like a bunch of good like documentaries and articles that you can find. I know Vice News has a really good one. But they're like some of these things are as extreme as like surrounding your car when you're on the interstate and like with other cars and like pushing you off of the interstate and things that are like really, really scary that kind of almost like exceed bullying. And like giving out people's personal information. And then sometimes it's all in your head and sometimes it's very, very real. And so that kind of fear of the unknown is kind of what we're trying to tap into.
Mhm. What was your audience's reaction when you performed this song for them? Gangstalkin.
Do you want to answer this one?
I don't know, they liked it. I feel like it's such a fun sounding song that you don't really get the full like message about what's scary. I think it's just like kind of a fun song to dance to, but they seem to dig it.
Yeah, it's really hard to hear the lyrics at shows we play. It's very like basements and bars and getting anyone to really pay attention, but we've kind of devoted ourselves to having interesting lyrics, so in case anybody wants to go in and look into it further, they can. But there's like usually like a lot of pushing and yelling and all positive pushing, of course.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Well, do me a favor, and after the interview, if you could send me over the lyrics, I'd really appreciate that. When we do the description of our interview, we'll include that for our viewers of the video and then also our listeners as well.
All right.
Let's talk about your other track, Overalls.
Overalls is so the gangstalking one is going to come out on August 18th.
Okay.
It should be out very, very soon on our friend's record label. And then Overalls is the first project we have like really recorded in a studio. We're gangstalking, and that album Head and Bag is going to come out all released or recorded by ourselves. Our friend recorded Overalls, and we put it out on a 7-inch. It's going to come out in the fall, hopefully. But we like self-funded our own 7 inches because we don't have a record label or anything. But that song is kind of, I don't know, it's like an ode to the Cramps' Sunglasses After Dark in a way, just like with the drum beat and how everything comes in. And then I don't know, I like woke up in my trailer down in Southern Illinois one day and kind of just wrote what I was thinking about. There's like a bunch of different weird little innuendos here and there, but it's kind of just like a working class ballad. I still got my overalls on. I still have to go to work in the morning and get the job done, even if your head's hurting from too many beers or something. But yeah. Anything you guys want to have any input on that one? The people seem to like that one.
Yeah.
We get that's like our ender
Yeah.
sometimes, and we'll bring up somebody who doesn't know how to play guitar and let them play guitar on it because it's only 2 chords.
Oh.
So it's like our fan.
I always like appreciate that one more when like they really don't know how to play guitar. Like, I don't know, like it's fun when like somebody like can catch on really quick, but then it just like sounds the same. I really like whenever they have no idea what they're doing and it just like falls apart.
That's where it kind of turns into like, if you don't know how to play, you're the most qualified to start a band. And if like we're playing a show and that happens, it's like, oh, maybe somebody will start their own band.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we want.
Well, how did the Pet Mosquito start? Are you all music students?
No. You want to give it a go?
I don't think any of us were or are music students, right?
No.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. I don't know. I met Everett whenever we were in like 2nd and 3rd grade, and then I think you guys met each other all in like high school and grade school. But yeah, I think you and Evan like kind of met and like started writing music, and then later on they like messaged me to see if I was still playing drums, and then we were hanging out with Jesse all the time, and we knew that Jesse played trombone, and then decided to give you a keyboard and tell you to write a song. Just kept adding on to it.
Yeah. Kind of became a bandmate by proxy and then became an actual bandmate. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did kind of start like with, I think I only took 1 music class. I was like an art student for a while, and I took 1 music class, and it was like a recording and engineering class, and we had to just record something. And that was like our first thing we ever did, was just Evan and I, and he had no idea how to play bass. He had never seen in a bass. He didn't know what a bass was. And we just stuck him on, and he's been freaking killing it. But yeah, it'll kind of come together like a collage.
What about voice lessons? Have any of you ever been trained in voice?
No.
No.
That makes me feel cool though, that you think maybe we've had like a few musical lessons.
And for you are you students at at Southern Illinois?
So I am a forestry student, so nothing to do
Oh.
with art or music or anything.
Uh-huh.
I dropped out of our school, but I might come back because the school seems to have a really awesome art program, so maybe I'll come check it out. And then Evan.
I'm a proud high school graduate.
Yeah, I go to school at SIU.
What do
Oh,
you study? What do you study?
I just switched my major to like focus on like sculpting and do like studio arts.
Okay. Well, you kind of are artists at heart, and so are all of you childhood friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, from
Different times in our lives, yeah.
yeah, I didn't meet Evan and Jesse until we were all like graduated high school, but I've known Everett since 2nd or 3rd grade.
Okay. Well, did you ever ever even think that you would be band members? Would you have a band?
No.
No.
I definitely didn't really think that I was going to be doing anything like this until I had a bass shoved into my hands.
That's awesome, because I was like, yes, I'm gonna find the closest person and shove instruments in their hands and make them do this. So I love we're both totally opposite there. That's sweet.
And where do you play? Do you get gigs? Do you play private parties? How do you practice your craft?
Well, back home we have like some really cool spots. There's always like a local bar, PKs, but we also have the longest running house venue in the country called Lost Cross.
Uh-huh.
And me and Evan live there right now, so it's a nice place to practice and meet other bands whenever they come through to play.
We get bands from all over the world there, which is very crazy because like a lot of people don't even know our town exists, but we just had a band from China come through.
Yeah, Round Eye.
Round Eye, and just bands from all over the place that come to our little towns. We've been exposed to the underground scene, and it's been really awesome. And then
Yeah.
we tour too.
Oh yeah, I feel like I don't know, like playing at those, like having people stop by at Lost Cross has like got us a lot of connections as far as where we go on tour, because then we can always, reach out to them, and be like, hey, is there a show around where you're from that we can, I don't know, we can get help on or something like that.
Yeah, it's very much a community and a family, and the more you reach out to people, the more people you meet, and it's like this huge, awesome spider web of music fans. It's really cool.
What about your family? Do they help you, or what do they think of your musical ambitions?
That's probably pretty jaded from person to person. My parents are like overly supportive. They're both radio DJs, and I
Oh.
grew up with a huge record collection. So I don't know. It's like trying my best not to disappoint them, but they seem to still like the band a lot. But I guess everybody can speak for their own self.
I don't want to talk trash on my parents. I think they think it's really cool. My dad's also a musician in like a bluegrass band. But they don't see it as a realistic like career path, which is understandable. That's kind of why I have forestry as a little, backup option. But yeah, they like the music, they're supportive. They just know it doesn't bring in a lot of money for musicians nowadays, but that's okay.
So if you want to put out our record, just let us know.
Well, Jesse, when you pursue forestry, do you ever inject any of your forestry interest into the band?
Not yet, aside from just telling everyone cool facts about trees whenever we go places. That's about it.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing on tour is to just point at a tree and be like, Jesse, what is it?
Yeah, I've only written or only like completely put out one song so far that I've written, so I haven't come up with another thing that I've related to trees or forestry or anything.
Mhm.
There are like, I'm not a forestry student, but I've got there's a few like global warming and climate and ecosystem issue songs that have made it on the track and even onto this upcoming album. But yeah, I think you should write some awesome tree bangers for sure.
And what is the name of your album going to be?
The new album was named by our bass player Evan, and it is called Head and Bag. It's kind of like a reference to just anxiety about the world around us.
Mhm.
But yeah,
And that album is coming out when?
August 18th
Oh,
on all
the whole album. Mhm.
platforms. Yeah, and then we should have tapes available. I don't know if anybody listens to cassette tapes anymore. Through what is his? It's
Freeloader
Records on Bandcamp. That's like our buddy. He runs an awesome label and puts out super small runs of tapes. Yeah.
Okay. And what are the names of the tracks on your on the album?
We've got 11 tracks. There is Pleasure to Burn is the first one. We've got Everybody Lied, which is I wrote on a receipt ticket. And these all maybe sound a little darker than they actually are. They're really fun rock songs. Suspicious Activity is about just being a hooligan. There's the gangstalkin one. There's one called Trash Compactor, which is like a 45-second hardcore song. What else we got? We got Head and Bag is like the titular track. There's a song called Clown about doubting yourself and feeling alone. Also really fun song. And then there's a Can't Run From Your BS. And that's like one of the climate involved tunes. And a bunch of cool stuff. Just like songs about dreams and yeah, I don't know. It's cohesive but kind of all over the place. And just a good old time. I think it's like 21 minutes long, 11 tracks, 21 minutes or something ridiculous. But yeah.
Mm. So if our listeners wanted to access your album, how again would they do it?
Like any streaming platform or hitting up our friend from Freeloader Records or like on Bandcamp.
Okay.
Just any of those ways.
Yeah, if you message us on Instagram, we'll send you a tape. And that's like the old school underground way to do it.
Okay.
Or it'll be available like on all streamers like Spotify and Apple Music, and I don't know if people use Pandora, but probably Pandora. Yeah.
And do you have people helping you put the album on these platforms, or do you do it yourself?
We started doing it ourselves, like originally, and then it is like I'm really bad at keeping passwords to things and like not losing them, and so we have like this project is like a little convoluted. There's like our friend who is doing the Freeloader Records, and he's just doing the tape release, and then we have another friend who runs another super small label called River to River Community Records, and he's been really really good at putting out awesome Southern Illinois music of all different genres, like country, folk, super hardcore, stuff all over the place. And he is doing the digital release for that. Yeah. And if you find yourself in Carbondale or in Southern Illinois on the 18th of August, at Burgett's Job at Plaza Records, we're gonna do a release party with a bunch of cool bands. It should be really fun.
What is the address of the venue?
Ooh.
It's like 816 East Main Street.
Okay, well, yeah, just send that along to us later, and then we'll put that in the description for the video of this interview.
Cool. It's by the Sonic.
Okay. And also, did you have any other music published before? Or is this your very first album?
We did like one little like a record we did kind of in the same style of this. It was like home recording and put that out, and then we did a 4 or 6 a few song EP.
Yeah, a few songs, just like the record store where I work at used to have like a label and put out some local music. And my boss still has all that equipment in the back. So I was like, could you please record around like 4 to 6 songs for us? Just because like, I don't know, it's just sitting there, you know,
Mhm.
gotta use it. So yeah, he was really nice enough to do that for us. It was really cool.
That was to tape too. None of this has been recorded to tape, but that
Oh yeah, that
plaza
one.
thing was like old school analog, so that was fun.
Mhm. So when you so from those 4 or 5 recordings songs, then you progressed to this album. So did you try to improve upon what you did before with this album, and in what way?
Well, the one recorded at Plaza was like all live. We did it in
Oh.
like, I don't know, like mostly just like one take of each song. But then like with this newer one, we had time to like separately record each of our parts on top of like each other's.
Yeah, for sure. I think like a big inspiration is like we love a lot of these new Australian punk bands who are doing it themselves, like bands like GT and Research Reactor Core. And I don't know, those are just like really cool garage rock bands that we love, and just like listening to them has been really inspiring, but they also pretty much record all of the like stuff themselves. And so like getting the time to like Brigitte said, just like go over and over and over again, like just until you need it. And to do that for free on like a free program is something and like a privilege that people in music history have never really had before. So I think that was kind of like what we wanted to do, what I wanted to do. I was like, let's just do it ourselves and see what it sounds like. And it was cool to get back to that and yes, improve. I think the songs are a lot more fun and a little less kind of jaded and political. It's just true fun, rock and roll. And that was the goal. So yeah.
Do you have any political background, Everett?
Not legally. I like definitely use my privilege. I hope to, to like make our community a better place. I think the way we do that is by providing something to do, which is like sometimes all you need is like just something to get kids out of the house and do that. But I don't know. I think if the songs are like semi-political, then I don't always have to like go out of my way to get myself into trouble. But yeah, definitely like stand up for people who need to be stand up for and don't have a voice for themselves. Yeah, I don't know.
And what about the other local bands? Do you network with them and then maybe exchange some tips on how to get ahead in the music business?
Yeah, I think a lot of like the bands in Carbondale, just because it's such a small town, you end up playing with like a bunch of the same people, and just like, you know, becoming friends with them. And they're always like helpful enough to like, I don't know, like give advice or, you know, recommend certain things and just like share information back and forth. Yeah.
And then what about your contacting Wizard? Have you been contacting a lot of radio stations? How did you contact Wizard?
No, we haven't contacted anybody else, but this is one that my parents, like when they lived up here, had some sort of involvement with.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't get it even through them. It was just the coolest sounding radio station call letters that I've ever heard in my life. So I thought you would be the person to hit up. And you were way too nice and let us come in. I really appreciate it.
Well, we really appreciate you. And Everett, you also mentioned that your parents were DJs, right? At another radio station. What radio station was that?
That radio station is still going strong in Carbondale, Illinois. They do not volunteer there anymore. But it is WDBX 91.1. It is a great community-run radio station that has been going for a good long time now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's great.
So it's just community radio. It's not part of public university.
It is not. We have like a WSIU and there was one that was just ran by like a student organization, and we've actually like played some of their reunion things, and they were called WIDB. But WIDB has kind of gone to the wind with the generation of people who kind of gave up on radio. I don't know. It's like not really a thing as much anymore, but like
Yeah.
WDBX is still a home to music lovers and a bunch of different stuff. And it's every 2 hours you get a whole new genre of music, and it's never the same. It's great.
And what is the status of WSIU?
WSIU is good. It's like they do a lot of like NPR kind of things. And like mostly just kind of college radio, not as much music related. Like I don't know exactly what that's called, but like they do Here and Now and Travel with Rick Steves
Uh-huh.
and that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, still really good, holding it down out there.
Okay, well, Pet Mosquito, kind of, could you repeat again who you your names, and then also how our listeners could contact you if they want more information? And again, please give us another update about who the upcoming events, your release, because there might have been some listeners that tuned in after you mentioned it the first time.
All right.
All right. Well, I'm Jessie. Did you want our instruments?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I play trombone, keyboard, tambourine, do some vocals. I might not be the person to contact, but if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's JESSADEGRON.
Okay, I'm Everett. You can reach the band at Pet Mosquito, all lowercase, on Instagram, and I will get back with you within the day. Yeah, I write the songs and play in them.
I'm Evan. I play bass in the band.
I'm Brigitte. I play drums. That new album is coming out the 18th, and we have a release show that same day at Plaza Records back home in Carbondale.
You can stream it anywhere.
Yep.
August 18th.
Okay, so in other words, when you're performing, we could stream, or after the record has been the album has been published, then we could stream the tracks of the album.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
So both we could also stream you while you're playing live. Is that a possibility?
Like what do you mean? Like
When you at the record store, right? And the 18th, are you going to be playing over there as well?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's us, our friends band Funny,
Uh-huh.
and a band with a curse word in it, so I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
And that's like a mix of all the best music in Carbondale. All those like one person from each band gets in the band together, and that's like the big finisher. But
Okay.
yeah, it should be out on that day for anybody to listen to.
Okay. So on that day when you're playing, how could listeners join the stream and watch you or listen or just listen to you?
Oh, I got you. I think our plan for that is to record it and put it out like later.
Okay.
I don't know if there'll be like a live stream,
Okay.
but just keep an eye on my Instagram, and we'll post any updates on pretty much everything goes there. And so you'll know when that comes out. You can we'll let you know. And it should be cool. But yeah, sorry about that. I was a little confused.
Oh no, that's okay. No worries at all. And we are so glad to have you here at WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM. Thank you, and much luck to you in your future music careers.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Right.